Lesson number 5, here we go. This one right here is one of my favorites. This lesson right here is a gem. I use it to this day. It is the first step that I ever do every single time I'm looking at a draft of my work. How much can you say with as little as possible? I feel like that's the definition of art in general. But in the words of James Baldwin from one of his interviews, actually, your sentences must be as clean as a bone. What does that mean? A lot of literature, literary classes we take, the education system teaches us how to write a lot, right? Especially in college when we got to write on 5-page essays or even more, right? We start using a lot of jargon and extra words, but poetry is different. Poetry is how much can you say with as little words as possible. Sometimes it is important to get rid of words to get your point across even more clear, right? Every word in your poem must earn its place in your poem. Because it's all about intention, right? And that's what we've been speaking about in all of these courses, right? Every word, you have to ask yourself if it deserves to be in your poem, if it's serving the purpose that it has to, if it coexists with the rest of your poem, does it belong, right? More so, the question you're really asking yourself is, can this poem still exist and still do what it has to do without this word, right? And then that's how you start combing out these words that you don't need. You make your sentences as clean as a bone. I'll give you an example. The first thing that Mahogany Brown taught me back in 2013 with Catherine George and Sean B as my co-coaches, and I use this to this day. I'm telling you, every single coach, writing instructor I know uses this, right? It's about crossing out words, getting rid of words you don't need. First 5 words I look for, and Catherine George was the first one to put this in my head. And, but, because, so, that, right? Write these down. And, but, because, so, and that. These 5 words right here, we throw them into sentences, especially while we're writing, without even thinking about it. Here's the thing. Words have power. Every single word has a power, has an ability, has an intention behind it. So we want to use our words intentionally. These words right here, these 5 are the first ones I cross out because I notice we throw these in our sentences even when we don't need them. However, again, this is all about intention, but at the end of the day, you are the artist. You make the last decision. It's about looking at these words and asking yourself, do I need it? Can I get rid of it? Right? If you say the word and 30 times in your poem, that is 30 seconds of you saying the word and in your poem. And I'm not talking about slam, I'm not talking about your score, I'm talking about you literally giving 30 seconds of your time on stage saying the word and, you know? And so, there you go, me saying the word and, right? And so. These are the first 5 words I get rid of. But I go on, I continue on, and I'm just looking at my notes real quick. We're just so accustomed to throwing these words in conversation, but this is poetry. We're talking about perfecting your craft. We're talking about choosing our words wisely. And this even means deleting some, getting rid of some. The best thing I do is if I notice that my sentences are a little too long, a little too wordy, I'll cover it with my thumb. Or I'll delete it and see what it sounds like. It doesn't sound good, I'll put it back. That's fine. But choose your words wisely also means getting rid of words you notice you don't need. Again, the first draft is the first draft. Write it out. Write everything out. Your first draft, you want to get it out, go ahead. But then while you're revising, this is one of the first steps I do. I start crossing words out. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. Sometimes I cross out entire sentences. Oh, this is doing too much. I can still get this poem across. I can still get my point across. I can still send the message or the image or the visuals or the memories that I'm trying to get through this poem. I can still do it without these words. So what are some words? Look through your poems. First of all, start with these. Start with these, right? If I'm telling you the sun was out because the kids were playing, I don't know, I'm just making that up, right? And then I take out the word because. The sun was out. The kids are playing, right? It goes, you just boom, 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 boom. You're hitting your points. You're going straight to the point and you're skipping the jargon. You're not losing anyone in your sentences. Now, again, as I mentioned, these words do have intentions if used on purpose, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, like the word but. The word but, you use that on purpose. If I'm saying the sun is out and the birds are chirping and everyone's smiling, but it sounds like something's about to change. That's an intentional use of the word. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying these words aren't necessary. I'm saying make sure you're using them on purpose. And not just these. These are just examples of 5 words that we sometimes use by accident. Look through your poems. Find those words that you don't need. Find those words that are just there, thrown there. And you'd be surprised how many words you can cross out, how clean your poem can sound. Or in the words of James Baldwin, how you can make your sentences as clean as a bone, right? Cross out these words and you'd be surprised what you make. That's lesson 5.